Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Dark Tales of the Mind. Today's video is one that I promised yesterday, and it seemed to have had pretty good feedback. Um, just a reminder today, I do everything one take, unedited, unfiltered. This is going to be one of those stories that's really hard for me to get through with a straight face. Okay, for those of you that are just now tuning in, I write dark psychological thrillers, most of which are inspired by music. And I do have a book, Saint Samuel. I do readings on it on my channel, so y'all are welcome to tune in and watch those if you like this. Um, if you've ever heard the song Barbie Girl, it is one of those songs that you wish you'd never heard, but it's so funny. Personally, I think it's funny to drive down the street with two 12s beating and that song blaring out of it because it's just so absurd that I don't know, I find humor in the weird things. Okay, but without further ado, I'll get on with the story. Again, one take, unedited, unfiltered. I apologize if I break character. All right. The streetlights flickered like nervous eyelashes as Detective Martin Keaton stumbled out of his car, his trench coat stiff with rain and regret. Somewhere down the block, a high-pitched, saccharine voice pierced the night. "Hiya, Barbie. Hiya, kid." Marvin squinted. A woman, no, a doll. Or maybe a woman dressed like a doll, complete, with molded eyelashes and lips the shade of electric bubblegum. Danced in puddles like a lunatic possessed. Her hair shimmered pink under the neon glow, sticking to her face in strands that made her look like a deranged cotton candy factory accident. She held something metallic in one hand, something glinting, something sharp. "You want to go for a ride?" she asked, voice syrupy sweet, tone bordered on demonic. "Sure, kid." I'm sorry. Came the muffled robotic reply from a man in pastel blue tracksuit, arms too stiff, smile too wide, his hair perfectly combed, unnatural, plastic like Martin shivered. The kind of shiver that crawls up your spine and plugs your brain with static. And then the Barbie leapt into motion. "I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic. It's Marvin blinked, and suddenly the world seemed to snap into chromatic horror. Streetlights melted like wax. The asphalt bubbled like a vat of cotton candy, and every parked car started singing in perfect harmony, mechanically, like they were auditioning for a musical written by a serial killer. "You can brush my hair, undress me anywhere. Imagination, life is your creation." The Barbie girl spun, and Marvin noticed the glint in her eyes, madness framed in eyelashes. But she wasn't alone. Dozens of doll people emerged from the alleys. Ken dolls, Barbie dolls, the occasional My Little Pony character, each one grotesque parody of childhood nostalgia. They stomped, they skipped, their laughter bouncing off the warped concrete. "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." Marvin tried to run, his feet tangled in invisible wires. The ground had become sticky with pink goo. sorry. He tripped, landing face first into a puddle of glittering slime that smelled faintly of bubblegum and formaldehyde. I'm sorry. When he lifted his head, a Kindle knelt beside him, bowing in horrifying politeness. Make me walk, make me talk, do whatever you please, the Barbie girl sang from above, spinning in the air. I can act like a star, I can beg on my knees. Marvin gagged. He realized she meant it, really meant it. The dolls started assembling in patterns. Pentagrams made of pastel plastic. Tiny hands held tiny knives. A trombone squealed somewhere else. A toaster shrieked in high C. And Marvin understood the city wasn't just infested, it was possessed. Barbie wasn't a doll anymore. Barbie was a goddamn architect of madness. Come jump in, the bimbo friend. Let us do it again. A Kindle offered Marvin a hand. Against his better judgment, he took it. Immediately, his body stiffened. His skin began to shimmer pink. The trench coat melted into sequins. He screamed, but the scream came out in perfect baritone harmony with chorus dolls. You can touch, you can play. If you say I'm always yours. Marvin's mind fractured. Every childhood memory of dolls being innocent and cheerful was shredded and stapled back together with barbed wire. He saw Ken stab a My Little Pony doll with surgical precision, yet the pony continued to neigh, squeaky and cheerful. What the hell's going on? Ooh ah, ooh ah. The Barbie girl landed on the roof of a flaming Cadillac. She pirouetted, she laughed, she carried the weight of 1,000 shredded prom dreams. Oh, I'm just having a little fun, she cried, eyes blazing. Marvin stumbled back. He wanted to run, he wanted to scream, but there was only one thing left he could do: join the party or die, screaming alone in the streets of his plastic nightmare. Well, Barbie, we're just getting started, a voice whispered from the shadows. It wasn't Ken, it wasn't Barbie, it was something worse. Marvin blinked. The shadow moved, the shadows moved. The dolls sang, intensified. He could feel the beat of the music inside his skull, inside his bones, synchronizing with his heartbeat. And Marvin laughed, no, not nervously, the, not fearfully. The laughter bubbled up because he didn't know why. Maybe he'd gone insane. Maybe it was the dolls. Maybe it was the universe had always been this twisted, and now he could finally see it in pink. Oh, I love you, Barbie. Oh, I love you, Ken. Barbie shouted. Marvin realized the dolls had never needed permission to exist. They just had, and now so did he. In this nightmare musical of murderous plastic joy, the city was theirs. Reality was a suggestion, and somewhere underneath it all, the glitter and the screams, a deep, malevolent laughter echoed. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. Marvin's eyes shredded like a jackhammer on meth as the Barbie girl spun on the hood of a flaming Cadillac. Her skirt flared, revealing legs shimmered in uncanny perfection, limbs that were too symmetrical, joints moving like a precision engineered doll. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. She sang again, high pitched and nauseating cheerful, echoing down the abandoned streets that had somehow become neon in carnival of terror. Marvin tried to retreat, but the world was closing in. Each puddle reflected not his face, but the different version of him, all screaming in pink lipstick, all wearing tiaras. He blinked, and one of the reflections winked. And then Marvin realized he could feel his own bones slowly being replaced with plastic. A Ken doll skittered towards him on tiny roller skates, one hand a sparkly cocktail umbrella. On the other, a chainsaw that buzzed like a kitten trapped in a blender. Let's dance, Ken. Let's dance, Barbie cooed, twirling in the air with impossible grace. She landed atop a fire hydrant, spraying pink foam that smelled faintly of strawberry shortcake and despair. The foam coated Marvin's shoes, and the second it touched him, he could hear the city giggle. You can brush my hair, undress me anywhere. Marvin screamed, but it was drowned out by a cacophony of doll noises, clattering heels, squeaky knees, metallic laughter, and the occasional fart sound effect for good measure. The world had become sick, live action cartoon, a parody of childhood joy running on batteries coated in blood. Then, out of nowhere, a carousel rose from the street itself. Horses, pinprick, eyes spun in place, neighing in attitude. A carnival organ played Barbie Girl backwards, which sounded like a demon trying to do karaoke while choking. Marvin stumbled onto the carousel, and the moment he touched one of the pink poles, he realized he was moving in rhythm with it, his legs pumping like pistons, his arms jerking like a marionette. Dress me up, make it tight. I'm your dolly, Bolly. Barbie's voice now seemed to come from inside his skull, each word a needle of sweetness that drilled into his brain. A sudden thought struck Marvin. This isn't happening. This cannot be happening. But as he looked down, his own hands turned plastic. His trench coat had sewn itself into a pink bubblegum tutu. Somewhere, a Ken doll clapped politely. Kiss me here, touch me there, hanky panky, Barbie declared, flinging herself into a group of Ken dolls that were now forming a human, or rather doll pyramid. Their movements were too fast, too precise, like clockwork manic energy that toppled it dramatically, and a tiny glitter covered chainsaw bounced straight into Marvin's chest. He screamed again. The scream began a song. His voice joined the chorus of dolls, high, squeaky, agonizing, and perfect. Marvin realized then that his identity, the very concept of Marvin Keaton, was being peeled away, layer by layer, until only a hollow pink skinned puppet remained. You can touch me, you can play, but if you say I'm always yours, Barbie's chant began to command. Marvin tried to resist. He shook his head violently, but the city laughed at him. Streetlights bent into cartoonish eyes, and all around him, the dolls cheered, clapped in synchrony. Aha, ah, yeah, Barbie, come on, Barbie, let's go party. And then he heard it, a voice deeper than any Ken or Barbie, resonant and terrifying. It came from beneath the pink foam, a rumble in the foundation of reality itself. Marvin, it whispered. Marvin, welcome to the party. Marvin froze, and somewhere a giant Ken doll raised a megaphone. You're the pinata, Marvin. Go on, break open. Before Marvin could respond, the Barbie girl landed on his shoulder, spinning like a glittery drill. His vision exploded into a kaleidoscope of neon pink, teeth laughter, and a high pitched woo. Every every step, every heartbeat synced into the sick carnival rhythm of the city. Marvin realized one undeniable truth: there was no escape. The party never ended. Somewhere in the distance, a My Little Pony with fangs looked way too real, galloping past, neighing like a chainsaw. Marvin felt his last vestige of sanity collapse, replaced with something new, the uncomfortable urge to laugh hysterically while screaming, to dance with monsters, to join the chaos. Oh, I'm having so much fun, Barbie shouted. Louder now, closer, everywhere at once. Marvin couldn't tell where she ended and where the world began. And in that infinite pink delirium, Marvin thought, perhaps this is what life is really about. Glitter, chaos, screaming, and laughter, dancing with the horrors that you once feared. Because deep down, he realized life in plastic, it was indeed fantastic. Marvin Keaton's legs moved on their own accord, pumping a mechanical rhythm with the streets. The streets had warped into a kaleidoscope of neon and nightmare. Sidewalks curled like melted crayons, buildings bent and flexed as if it giggled at their own twisted architecture. Above, the Barbie girl hovered, a glittery aurora of madness and perfection, her hair flaring like radioactive cotton candy. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. The chant had become a command. Marvin realized, too late, that his entire nervous system had been rewired. The dolls weren't dancing, they were conducting him. Each squeaky laugh, each metallic clap, each chainsaw tinged giggle hit like a synapses, hit his synapses like a fireworks that made of insanity. The Ken dolls formed a barricade around him, their plastic smiles, eyes unblinking. One held a lollipop like a mace, another swirled a sparkly katana with unsettling precision, and above it all, the Barbie girl landed on a lamppost, striking a pose that could have killed anyone who hadn't already halfway melted into psychosis. Marvin tried to fight. He raised his plastic stiff arms and screamed, but the scream had become assimilated into the Barbie chorus. He was both himself and the orchestra. Somewhere, My Little Pony reared, fangs glinting like diamond knives, neighing the melody of his lost humanity. You can touch me. You can touch. You can play. If you say I'm always yours. Barbie Barbie's voice had become the city itself, echoing from the concrete, neon and blood soaked cotton candy. Then it happened. The fireworks of madness reached a climax. The dolls exploded, not into pieces, but into more dolls, hundreds, thousands, an infinite army of plastic horror, cascading over the city. Their laughter became a tornado of sound, bending reality like taffy. Marvin felt his very soul unravel, and yet he laughed. It was uncontrollable hysteria. Mad. He laughed at the Ken with the cocktail umbrella that had stabbed him politely, at the glitter foam that smelled like strawberry nightmares, at the Barbie hovering above him, radiating perfection and annihilation. He laughed because resistance was absurd. He laughed because the universe had gone full on cartoon serial killer on ecstasy, and there was no reset button. And then, in sudden twist of impossible physics, Marvin's trench coat turned tutu, ignited in slow motion sparks. The Barbie girl dove straight into it, landing atop him with a grin that could slice steel. Oh, I love you, Ken, she screamed. Or maybe it was Marvin screaming through her. It was impossible to tell anymore. Plastic and flesh, madness, they all were one. Time fractured, seconds stretched like taffy. Buildings folded in on themselves and reformed giant smiling doll faces. A street sign shouted, "Yay, dance!" in capital letters. So, somewhere a toaster launched itself skyward, sparking an electric rainbow over the horizon. Marvin finally surrendered. He let the chaos consume him entirely. He danced. He screamed. He laughed until his lungs were glitter, until his bones were shiny pink rods pure delirium. The dolls joined him, a chorus of nightmares and ecstasy. The city itself gyrated, spun, twirled, and sang Barbie Girl at a pitch so high it made the stars shiver. And then silence. The Barbie Girl stood alone in the ruins, her hair perfectly immaculate, smile untouched. She surveyed the city streetlights. They surveyed the city, streets littered with pink foam, broken dolls frozen mid leap, a horizon melted of neon. Life in plastic, it's fantastic, she whispered. Marvin, or what remained of him, smiled, a half human, half glitter puppet with a soul made of absurdity. Somewhere deep in his psyche, a tiny fragment of fear lingered, but it was buried under the layers of madness and laughter. A sparkly carnage, the city breathed. The dolls sang, the party never ended. And so, in the new world ruled by plastic, glitter, and psychotic pop melodies, one undeniable truth remained: life in plastic was truly horrifyingly, fantastically internal. I apologize for the video. I mean, it is welcome to my mind. Um, I named the channel properly, Dark Tales of the Mind. I appreciate y'all for being here. I am not going to harass you again for likes, comments, or subscribes, but if you like the story, if you want more of this, please allow me to know. And as always, I appreciate you. I'm your host, Lucian Graves, and y'all have a wonderful day.